All right, here we are in part two of this, basically making a attendance tracker and a daily questions maker in Google Forms. And in this video, we're going to talk about how do we link that Google Forms to a Google Sheets, and how do we create a Google Sheets using a Google Forms, and how do we link Sheets to a specific Google Forms, link Forms to a specific Google Sheets, to where we can keep all of our attendance in the same area. So let's go ahead and see how that looks. So here we are back in that folder that I've been working in, this creating QR codes, attendance/quizzes, and I've got those two Google Forms that we just made for the previous video. We've got that attendance module and then the daily questions. So, and then these down here, that was the practice attendance, practice quiz, QR code, and responses. All four of these that I have highlighted were part of that introduction video, so we're not going to necessarily worry about them in this video. But I am going to pull up this attendance. So we made our attendance, but now we need to record that on a Google Sheets to where it's a lot easier to follow, where we can sort by alphabetical order and actually just go down and hit our check boxes of were they there or not. So let's assume that this is the very first quiz or the very first Google Forms that we're going to make. Whenever I make my very first one, I'm going to go to responses, and I'm going to come over here where it says create spreadsheet. This green box with this kind of a little bit of an X or a T through it, a white T through it. So that's a spreadsheet icon. So I'm going to click on that spreadsheet icon, and it's going to say create new spreadsheet. So I'm going to just call this 20-FA for 20 fall. To where now I can keep my attendance separated by the semester. And then I'm going to say name of the class, which is, let's call it fake class. Then I say create. And ladies and gentlemen, it's as simple as that. That Google Sheets is now automatically being created to where we have our timestamp. Just like in the introduction video, if I were to go in there and take this quiz right now, it would throw off the timestamp of when I did it, their first and their last name. So, and then you can see down here that it's got form responses 1. What I do for my class is I'll go in there and I'll change this date. So I'm going to call this attendance 9-28. So now I can actually sort, and we'll see here in a minute whenever I link a second Google Forms to it, that we're going to actually be able to identify, all right, this is exactly where we need to go to find the attendance for that particular day. So it's basically as simple as that. So if I enter in any kind of data or take this Google quiz, or a student takes the Google quiz, it's going to automatically populate right here without us having to do anything else. But let's go ahead and exit out of here. We're going to exit out of here as well. And we're going to now we want to attach this daily questions 9-28 to the same Google spreadsheet. So now I'm going to open up this daily questions. Remember, that was that quiz that I made in that first video. And I'm going to go to responses. And now I'm going to click create spreadsheet. I'm going to go to that same spot. I'm going to click create spreadsheet. But this time, instead of creating a new spreadsheet, I'm going to say select existing spreadsheet. Now you're going to see a lot of different spreadsheets pop up, especially if you're like me and you work with Google Sheets all the time. And one of the last ones that I worked with was this fall or 20-fall fake class. So it automatically pops up right here in the beginning because it's dealing with what are some of the more recent ones that you've been dealing with. If it doesn't populate right here right away, this is where sorting it by that semester is really important, because I'm going to say 20-FA, and now I have a couple of different ones that are titled that particular with those particular semesters for this semester. So now I can isolate my spreadsheet a lot faster by putting it by that semester. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this 20-/FA fake class. And if I click on that, again, it's going to be just as simple as that. It's already linking that now. So I'm going to come down here. First and foremost, I'm going to change the date of this, or the name of this, to be DQ 9-28 and hit enter. To where I can now, if we've got multiple days that we're tracking, and we can just go down here and look at the date, and we can go directly to that attendance, and we got a record of that attendance. So I'm going to pause the video, and I'm going to insert and actually fill out that daily questions with a couple of different fake names and kind of show you, all right, well, here's how we can actually sort that now whenever we're plugging it in for attendance in Moodle. So now we're in this quiz, and what I'm about to show you will work for both the quiz and just tracking attendance. But I went ahead and entered in 4 different fake people. Well, a lot of them are not fake people, but just 4 different people that I plugged in. And let's say that this was your class. You had a class of Tyler Reagan, John Smith, Adam Smith, and then Jimmy Carter. And now we can see when each one of them took that particular quiz, what was their score, and then who they were, and then which questions, what were their answers to those questions. So we have all that there. But as you can see, we have it it's not in alphabetical order. So we need to get it into alphabetical order. So what I'm going to do right here is under this column, with the last name, there's a little arrow right there, a drop down arrow. So I'm going to click right there. And I'm going to say sort A to Z. So it's going to throw everybody in alphabetical order by their last name now, to where you can just kind of go down the list. Well, actually, we have a little bit of an issue, because Adam Smith and John Smith, Adam Smith should actually be before John Smith, but it's not. There's a simple fix to that. We're going to go here under the first name, sort first A to Z, and then we'll go last name and sort A to Z. So now we're in order. Or if you want to see, when did people actually take this quiz? So you wanted to see, well, did they join the class or watch the video later and it was a recorded video and that QR code was in that recorded video? We could sort A to Z, and whoever is down at the bottom actually took that quiz last. So now we can actually sort it in order to manipulate the data to where we're not trying to match names up. We can just go down the list in alphabetical order.